Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Cass Bowers. This is Cass Chats. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm back again. I have been so busy. I've been doing a lot of things. One of the things I've been doing is finishing out my study. I have interviewed over 19 Black women, and it was wonderful. It was a beautiful journey. I don't know if I said this already, but it was a really great experience. And so now I've been analyzing the data. So I have all of the files, all 19 files transcribed in my Excel spreadsheet. And so I'm really working through the analysis part of it and having to write. So if you're new here, I know I have 10 subscribers and thank you. But if you're new here, I am a PhD candidate. I have made it to the end almost. I'm so close. I have written chapters 1, 2, and 3. I have also been IRB approved and gone through and interviewed, so collected all the data that I need and interviewed all the participants. I'm doing a qualitative study. And so I've gotten all the way to chapter 4. So now I'm writing chapter 4. And chapter 4 is really just me letting folks know my findings. So talking about the data, talking about the themes, talking about all the things that the women that I've interviewed have said. And so my dissertation topic is the intersectional experiences of Black women in nonprofit leadership. And so I interviewed Black women leaders, Black women that aspire to be leaders. The commonality is nonprofit. And so I gained so much knowledge. There are so many themes. There are themes about, of course, I shouldn't say of course, but of course, discrimination, implicit bias, racism, white supremacy. There's an overwhelming abundance of harm inflicted by white women on Black women. So there's so much. It's been a lot. I think I have way more than I need to have to finish this up. So chapter 4 is about 15 to 20 pages. It could be more, it could be less. It can't be less than 15. But normally folks get around 20, 25, maybe even 30, and then they kind of, wrap it up because it's a very methodical process of the elements that you have to put in. And I'm having trouble getting started writing, to be honest. So the 6 weeks that I took to interview women and get all the data collected was a break from writing. And now I think I need to just get back in the swing of things. Folks have been giving me a ton of ideas about writing, how to start. I'm in this PhD group and they told me that I should start in the middle. So start with my research questions and then dive into my results and what my participants told me and kind of write it that way. And I think I'm going to do that. So my plan is when I come on here on Sunday, I will have a draft of chapter 4 to give to my chair. That's my plan by Sunday, and today is Wednesday. So I have a lot of work to do. Again, it's 15, 20 pages. It should be really easy, right? So it starts with an introduction. Then it goes into your methods, how you collected the data, kind of you review that again, and then you go into the themes, and you have to follow whatever process you outlined in chapter 3. And so the process I outlined was a way to develop themes, to look for themes and to categorize them by themes and to code the information, C-O-D, the information by themes. And so that's the process that I went with. And I love it. It's really great because it's really easy to see the themes already, to already document. I'm going to figure out a way to share my screen so I can kind of show you some of the things that I'm talking about and how I'm writing and my process, because I talked to a friend of mine, hi Cara, and I was telling her about how you really need to get your stuff organized and how you need to develop a method early. So when you get to chapter 4, you're ready. And I think I did a pretty good job of doing that, but I could have done better. I could have started sooner. My number one piece of advice to all PhD students is to find a way to catalog and categorize your references. I have a system, and so my system is I take, and I will show you, I'll find a way to show you this. My system is I take the themes or the subheadings of what I wanted to use for my data. So for example, discrimination, implicit bias, leadership, black women identity. So I take all of those things, and it was probably about 20 sub themes, everything I could think of that would be related to my topic. And then anytime I came across a reference, a source or an author, an article, a book, any of that that was related to that theme, I put it in that folder. So I would download the PDF, and I would like, this is my reference, these are my references for Black women identity. And then my second piece was, as I was reading through those articles, so most of the time I printed out everything. I know some folks don't like to print, but I love to print. I mean, I like to write notes in the margins. So I would print it out, I would read through it, and then as I was reading it, I would pull up a Word doc. And in the Word doc, you can dictate, like verbally dictate from your notes. So I would reread, so it wouldn't be plagiarism, so it wouldn't be verbatim. I would read through my notes, and then I would dictate that into Word. So then I had the link to the article, and then my notes on that article. So author Smith, 2020 intersectional experiences of Black women. That's the link to that. And then under that, I would say this author went into how Black women have an intersection of their race and their gender, and I feel like this is related to my study in blah 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 way. And so kind of doing an analysis on that author, putting a little blurb under it, and writing as much as I felt like I needed to write under each author. And earlier today, I went through all of my authors for all of my references for my literature review. It was 91 that I had. I think I had more than that, but it was 91 that I had saved. So doing that 91 times. So going through and finding the link or using the link of the author, and then below that, above it, or however you want to catalog it, writing in a little blurb, and I just dictated it out into Word of what that article was about and how it related back to my topic. And I did that for all of my authors, and I categorized it by those subheadings. So right now, today, if I wanted to go in and figure out, wait, there's an author that said something about stereotypes. Yeah, I have one. I would just go into my stereotypes folder and find it. That was just my way of doing it. It was more manual, but I found that the databases or the tools that they use for references, there's a lot of them, didn't capture everything I needed. And it was just easier for me to develop my own process. But there are a ton of them. Like, you may find that one of those tools is better for you. I found this was better for me because I could just speak into it and kind of categorize it in a way that was very useful for me and be able to come back to it and use that in my literature review. So that was just my one little trick, or one way I did that was a little bit, for me, it was a little better than those tools. But my piece of advice is find that method for you. Figure it out. You can play around with different tools. You can do it manually like I did. You can use an Excel spreadsheet, but however you want to categorize it, find something that works for you as soon as you can and keep using that until it doesn't work anymore, or until you find something better, or just keep using it. But find a method that works and start categorizing and categorizing and cataloging and summarizing all of your articles now. But that's the thing that I didn't do. So I kind of did it all at once. I kind of just spent a day and just went through and categorized them and cataloged them. I took, actually not a day, that's a lie. I took a whole weekend and did that. So if I would have done that at the beginning, it would have been so much easier when I got to chapter 2, which is a literature review. It would have been so much easier because I would already had them categorized. I just go in there like, oh, yep, I already had an author. So that's one big tip, is to find a way to categorize, to catalog, and to summarize all of your authors. Now, the other tip is to use sources or resources that are as current as possible. So they stay within 5 years, but maybe by the time you get to the end of your program, I probably have said this before, that might have expired. So some of my references that I loved didn't write any new articles, so then I no longer could use them. So my advice is, it's 2021. As many authors as you can should be in 2021. So then 4 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you'll still be able to use those authors. They won't be outdated by the time you finish your program. And I know every PhD student, I'm going to do this in 2 years, I'm going to do this in 3 years. Hopefully you will. I'm positive that you can try to do that. And I will support you and be happy and celebrate you if you get it done then. But on the off chance that you don't make it within those 5 years or before 5 years, or, or it takes you longer, start using references that are as up to date as possible. Not 5 years from today, but think 5 years out. So that way your references won't ever expire. They won't expire by the time you're done. And that did happen to me because I'm about in year 6. I think this is the 6th year. Nope, this is year 5. So I have some that were too far back. So I'm in year 5. So that's really what I've been working on. That's all I've been doing. I have a full-time job. So I've been doing my full-time job. I've been doing my side job. And I've been really, really grateful and thankful and feeling so inspired by these women that I have been interviewing. And so when I closed my survey, when I closed my study out, it was a relief, but now there's more work to be done. And so I kind of took a little break from vlogging, but I'm back in it, and I'm going to start promoting this better. I've been promoting it a little bit on Instagram, but not on all my other channels. So I'm going to start promoting this, and I will start giving better tips and more tips on the process. And I'm going to be a broken record, because you need to find a system of cataloging, categorizing, and summarizing your references. You need to do that now. So I'm also going to talk about dating, and I'm also going to talk about all the other things in my life. But that was today's little update. I am going to get back to work because I have a lot to do still. But Sunday, right? Sunday, I'm going to have a chapter 4 draft. 15 to 20 pages, a draft. It won't be a final copy, but I hope to have a really good draft for my chair. So we will see you then. Mark my calendar. I will be talking to you on Sunday. So again, thank you so much for joining me, for coming along on this journey, for continuing to subscribe and watch my videos. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully this channel will grow, and I'll be useful, or this will be useful or helpful to other folks, especially PhD candidates and students. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.